Let's get a little more analysis on this. We can speak to Sinan Ulgen, who is an analyst from Pretoria in South Africa. Many thanks for joining us. As we heard there, the EU and Turkey rarely see eye to eye on anything recently, if not months, if not years. What do you think is actually going to be achieved at this summit?
Well, just let me, from the outset, correct that I'm the head of EDAM, a think tank based in Istanbul. In terms of what can be achieved in Varna, the expectations are not very high. The fact that this meeting between the leaders is taking place is in itself perhaps the biggest achievement, because it demonstrates the willingness on both sides to continue to engage, to continue the dialogue in a difficult time. More concretely, perhaps the positive outcome of this summit will be the commitment on both sides to continue with the refugee facility, with cooperating on the refugee issue. The EU has committed to Turkey a substantial amount of money, the first tranche of which has by now been repleted. So there is now a willingness, and the two sides will confirm, to continue to extend this for the next year with a financial package that is worth more than 3 billion euros. But in many other areas that are on the agenda of the relationship that you have covered, including the customs union deal, visa liberalization, things may not move forward under current circumstances. So I don't expect much to come out from the summit. And finally, the importance of the summit, if I have to emphasize it, is that it takes place before the European Union's progress report that will be published in April. So this is the last occasion to exchange notes before the publication of the progress report on Turkey.
Are you surprised that the two sides did actually agree to meet? You say that the meeting in itself is an achievement. Are you surprised that they met? Because when you look at some of the strategic needs of the two sides, neither of them seem to be on the same page. Other than the refugee situation, they just don't seem to be on the same page at all.
Sure, that's the current environment. Surely that's why there hasn't really been an agreement to move forward on many of the key areas that have tended to define this relationship, ranging from the membership talks to the customs union, visa lib, and so on. But at the same time, it also demonstrates that there remain willingness, both in Ankara and in Brussels, to continue to talk to each other. So in other words, neither side is really willing to pull the plug on this relationship and therefore invest in dialogue with hopes that things can gradually improve over time, so that the two sides can move in the direction that they had set out for the strategic vision in their relationship.
What is the priority, do you think, for Turkey and President Erdogan? Is it the visa-free travel for its citizens? Is it more financial aid to do with refugees? Is it for the EU just to get on the same page as Turkey? What is it that President Erdogan wants from the EU?
Well, there are obviously, some short-term goals and more long-term goals. As I was listening to President Erdogan before he set out to start his trip to Varna, he certainly has underlined the fact that Turkey's official position is to advance the membership negotiations. So Turkey wants to be a member of the EU. And therefore, the long-term objective continues to be the revitalization of the membership talks. But at the same time, they're realistically speaking, given the difficulties on both sides, both in Turkey, but also in a number of different European countries, with the rise of far-right parties, populist platforms, it is difficult to expect that there will be a short-term progress on accession. And therefore, there are now other agenda items that are more short-term and medium-term. The refugee facility is one of them, but that is going to be one of the positive outcomes of the summit. The other agenda items, customs union, visa liberalization, remain medium-term objectives. And there, the two sides really need a more concerted dialogue to understand each other as to under which conditions these particular issues can be advanced.
Sinan, unfortunately, we're out of time. Appreciate your analysis. Sinan Ulgen there.